Hello my sweets, it's Keisha. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I created this hauntingly beautiful skeleton fairy lantern using a few Dollar Tree items and some simple supplies I already own. This project is easy, budget-friendly, and perfect for adding a creepy yet magical vibe to your Halloween decor. Let's jump right in. I'm going to start today's project off with this lantern. I'm going to turn it sideways so you can see it a little bit better here. The lantern that I got a couple years ago on clearance from Michael's. I don't know if it's still available. I will try to do a search for it and see if I can find one that's similar. If not, Dollar Tree does have lanterns about this size, I believe for $5. So you don't necessarily, if you're wanting to recreate this project, you don't necessarily have to have exactly what I have. But I will see if I can find it and put it in the description box below. So first what I want to do is actually add a base into this lantern. And to do that, I'm going to need to measure this space out to cut my styrofoam down. You know, this is a piece of styrofoam that I had from some packaging, but if you don't have that, Dollar Tree does have square and circular styrofoam pieces. I'm going to show you a piece that I have right here, like this, that you can also use and just cut it down into the shape that you need it to fit into your lantern. So the space I need is about 4 1/4 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this off. And now I'm just going to double check that it does fit. Let me just make sure the door can close. And it doesn't, so I'm just going to trim it down a little bit more. And once I get that to fit in there how I want it to, we're going to start painting. Okay, so I have my paints out here, and I have Hazelnut, Waverly chalk paint, and moss. And I have just a little stencil brush here. And all I want to do is just stipple this on here. I'm going to be putting some moss on, and just in case any of the areas peek through on the moss, I just want to make sure that it's not just pure white underneath. Now I'm just going to go right over this with the moss color. Just pour some right on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this dry, and then when I come back, we'll glue some moss on. Okay, so next I have some reindeer moss here from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go ahead and use some hot glue and glue it on top of this piece of styrofoam. Okay, so I think I'm pretty satisfied with the way that this looks so far. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side and get cleaned up, and I'll be back with what I want to do next. Okay, so next what I want to do is make a tree to go inside of the lantern. So what I have is some leftover stems from mini mums that I used on project earlier in the fall season. And so I'm going to go ahead and dismantle this because I won't be using the leaves. So I'm going to take this apart, and I also have some packing paper here that I've already torn into strips, and I have another piece here just in case I need to do some more. And then I also have some floral wire, and I believe that I also got this from Dollar Tree. It is pretty thin, so I may need to go ahead and double it up, but we'll see. So let me finish taking this tree apart, or what's going to be a tree. Okay, and what I've done is I've already gone ahead and kind of just measured the what's going to be the trunk against here so that I know how far to go down, because I want it to be able to stick into the styrofoam here for a little bit more stability. So I think the first thing I want to do is go ahead and pinch these together. And I think I'm just going to use some, well, I am going to just go ahead and use some masking tape just to kind of hold those pieces together. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm just going to be using this tacky glue here. So I'm just going to squeeze some out into this little bowl. Again, that's Aileen's tacky glue. I think any white glue will do. And I'm going to cut off a couple of lengths. Okay, I'm going to fold that in half. Okay, this will do. Okay, so let me just give a quick measurement here. This is about 10 inches long. And what I'm going to do is kind of twist this wire together first. Okay, and now I'm going to take my strips, put a little bit of glue. This is going to get a little bit messy. What I want to do is wrap these strips around this wire. I'm just going to add a little bit more glue. And continue wrapping. And if it twists and wrinkles on you, that's okay, because it's going to end up as a tree branch. And tree branches are pretty gnarly. Also, you can tear longer strips than what I had. I just had a smaller piece than this, so I wanted to start with a smaller piece. Okay, so that's what it's looking like so far. So I'm going to continue wrapping these. I'm going to make a couple more of these to add on to here, because I want to make some roots and also build up the bottom of the trunk here. Okay, so I've gotten 3 of these wires wrapped up here, and what I want to do now is connect them to this part. So I'm basically going to do the same as what I did. I'm going to, well, it's going to be different because I haven't done this part yet. Sorry. I'm going to take these 3 and just kind of line them up a little bit further than the bottom of this one. And then I'm going to take them and twist them around the original piece here. And do a little bit extra down here just to help make the trunk a little bit wider down at the bottom. And I'm still focusing on my mark here. I just want to make sure of where that's going to land. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is add some more paper around the trunk part here with the same method. I have a longer piece here this time that I can start with. And I'm just going to slather it up with some glue. And just add it on here and start twisting. And I'm just going to add a couple of layers of this paper on here. You can come around and wrap some onto what's going to be the roots as well. So I am going to continue wrapping this around here until I am satisfied with the way that it looks. I think the thickness of the trunk I'm pretty satisfied with. I'm just gonna go around this area here, around the roots, just to build it up just a little bit more around the trunk. But other than that, up in here, I'm pretty okay with how that looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and then let it dry and then come back because we need to still wrap this part. So I'm gonna determine how many branches I wanna have and then wrap those as well. So this is just about dry. It's not fully dry yet, but I did determine that I'm gonna go ahead and use 4 of these stems that are coming off. So I took 2 of them and just twisted them together. And then I'm gonna use just the 4 that are left here. Now, with that being said, I do have some more wires here to make little branches to come off of the tree. If this was like a branch, some mini branches to come off, if that's making sense. So I'm going to wrap a few more of these wires here, and then I'm going to be able to add them onto the main tree. So it's just the same step as before. You just get some of the glue onto the paper and twist it on. Now, you don't necessarily have to use the brown paper. If you have newspaper, you can most certainly use that, or you can use like paper towel. It doesn't have to be this if you don't have this paper on hand. You can use other things to wrap the wire with. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one here. And these pieces, I did cut them to about 6 inches, the wire, but then well, they're 12 inches and I doubled them over, so they're 6 inches. And also, as I'm wrapping this, you want to make sure that it's kind of not super smooth, if that makes sense. So like how I said earlier, if the paper kind of like folds back on itself and wrinkles up, that's just going to give it more of a realistic look. I did kind of on the tree do some more twisting on the paper as I was adding it on, just to add some more texture so that it's not super smooth. So like this, for example, you can just take this and fold it back up on itself and then kind of twist it around just so it has more texture to it. I'm just going to set that down. Now I do have this one that I cut to 6 inches and doubled it over, so it's 3 inches. And I'm just going to put it towards the middle here and twist it onto this longer one. So I have like a separate branch here. And then I'm just going to start from this end. Once I get up to the Y, I'm just going to start manipulating it so I can just go around one of the branches initially. Okay, and then I think what I'm going to do, excuse me, is start at the top of this one and bring it back down. And as I get down to the Y, Just gonna add some more glue here. We're in the white area. I'm just gonna bring it around. There you go, and that's what that's looking like. Now I do have a little edge where you can kind of see the wire here. So I'm gonna come over with just a smaller piece and just cover that right up. I'll just get it twisted on there. And you can add as much paper as you would like to make it as realistic as you would like. Okay. I'll stop messing with that one for a little while, and I'm just going to get on and finish these. And then we'll work on attaching them next. Now that I have these, what I'm going to do is start adding them onto the actual, how do I want to say this? The main tree. So I'm just going to wind it around again, wrap it around the branch that I want to add it to. And just bring it down. And then I'll come back and wrap this with more paper. And we'll do that for each branch. Okay, so I finished adding all of the branches that I wanted to onto the tree. So next, what I want to do is to go ahead and paint it. Also, I did let this sit overnight to completely dry. So now that it's completely dry, I'm going to go ahead and paint it. And I'm starting off with the Truffle Waverly chalk paint. And I'm just going to go with one full coat over this. And I'm just going to try to get it into all of the nooks and crannies here. So next, while that's over there drying, what I have here are some mushrooms that I got at Michael's. They're miniature mushrooms, and I believe, oh, it has 20 pieces in the pack. I believe I paid $3.99. I'm not sure, but they're relatively inexpensive for the 20 of them already made. So went ahead and picked those up. But I do want to bring down the color of them a little bit. So I'm going to paint 5 of them. I don't know if that I'm going to need all 5 of them, but, or use all 5 of them, I should say, at this point. But I am going to go ahead and paint them. So I'll be using mineral chalk paint by Waverly, and this color is called Lacquer. And then once these are dry, I'm going to come in with the Ivory to put the dots back in. So I'm going to start with the bottom portion of it here. And I'm just going to take a smaller paintbrush and just paint that in. Okay, now I'm coming in with the lacquer. I don't know if there's that much of a color difference, but I'm going to keep going. This might dry down a little darker. So I'm going to let these dry, and then I'm going to go in with a second coat. And I think this one is dry enough now that since I have the mineral out, what I'm going to do is dry brush some of this mineral onto it. Probably need to just pour a little bit out onto my silicone mat here. And I'm using a stenciling brush. And I'm just going to offload some of the color. And then I'm just going to sweep this right over the entire tree. This is going to bring out some of the different textures from the way that the brown paper was trying to think of the words. The way the brown paper was twisted on to the wires. You can see that here. So I am pretty satisfied with the way that this looks. So I am going to go ahead and let it dry completely off to the side here. And I'm probably rushing this, but I'm going to go ahead and start doing the next coat on these. And then I'm going to set them aside to dry for a little bit longer so I can come in with the Ivory chalk paint. And then I will be back with what I'm going to do next. These mushrooms have had a chance to fully dry, so what I'm doing now is I started putting on the little dots that go on the mushroom, and I have a dotting tool here that's from Dollar Tree. It has a larger end and then a smaller end for the dot. I don't know if you can see that. That's the smaller end and that's the larger end. So I'm just taking the larger end right now, and I am dipping it down into the lid where there's some excess paint, and I'm just dotting it on. Just for reference, and this is what the original looked like, and this is what the repainted version looks like. Okay, so I'm going to set these over here to dry. Now, I have these crystals, and this is not necessary. These have just been kicking around my craft room. Let me show them to you better. And they are actually resin crystals that when I was pouring some resin, I poured it into an extra mold that I had, but they kind of broke off. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of paint on the bottom, and this is Treasure Gold by Folk Art, and it's the color gold. And I'm just going to paint around the bottom of them, just a little ways. And then I want to try to put them back into a cluster shape, and I'm going to attempt that with hot glue. But first I'm going to get this painted. It looks like this is going to take a couple of coats as well. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to let those dry over there. So while those are drying, the next thing I want to do is work on a skeleton here, and I'm using one of these skeletons off of this skeleton garland from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of these, and I want to make this so that it is kneeling down, so I'm going to need to cut it apart. So I'm going to start at the knees, and I'm just going to cut it apart. Okay, don't want to get them mixed up. And let me see if this will break easily. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to take off the arms too. Okay, so to make this kneel, of course I have to bend the knee joint backwards. So I'm just gonna fold it like this, put it back together. I'm gonna use a little bit of hot glue to do that. I'm just gonna put some glue right here at the joint. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue on the other one in the same way. Okay, that's getting set. I think I want it to kind of bend forward a little bit like this. I guess I should turn it sideways so you can see. So instead of it was straight up like this, so I'm just going to slightly tilt it forward. And I'm going to take my glue and set the hip joints in place with a little hot glue. Now for the arms, I'm going to place them back on. So I'm going to see if this will bend forward. You can see that. Like this side it was straight down. I want to bend this one forward. And then I'm going to glue the arm back on kind of to the side. And I'm going to let it set in place. So just slightly to the side. So you see it's not balanced. Now the hand is past the knee, so I need to bring that arm up just a little bit. So I'm going to bend it up some. Or actually I could twist it a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to twist it, and then I'm going to give it just a little bit more bend. I'm just going to put a little bit more hot glue in there. Right in the crease of the elbow. And put a little bit more back here. And hold it at that angle now. Okay, that's a little bit better. And then I'm going to take the hand and see if the hand will just kind of twist so it's more like that. I want it a little bit more. There we go. And for this arm, I think I'm just going to leave it so it's kind of balancing on the ground. So I'm going to bend the hand back so it's more of like this. You see there? I'm going to see if it'll let me glue it back on while it's kind of on the surface. And I need to move this arm forward a little bit. I need to glue it, but this leg is kind of sticking out a little too far, so I'm just going to try to bend that in some. I'm going to take some glue on this one here. Set this back down into position, and then just move this right over. Okay, so this is what it looks like from the side rather than the top. Like that. And I think these feet might need to just be bent back just a little bit. Oh, I think I broke that one. Ew. Okay. I broke that one a little bit, so I'm just going to put some hot glue in there just to kind of keep it together. And just to kind of keep this arm right here in place, I'm going to glue it against the leg. Put some hot glue right here, kind of in the wrist area. And just put it right there against the knee. Okay, and that's what that looks like. Just right there. Okay, so I'm going to cut this portion off here because I don't need to hang it anywhere. Take the head and glue it into straight position because otherwise it'll just keep swiveling. I'm just going to put some right here at the back, and then I'm going to come in and put some in the front. Okay, so this is what our skeleton is looking like so far. Side. And this side. Now I have some of these. They are called Transparent Wings, and they're by Tim Holtz. I just want to get a set out, and they have all kind. It comes with all kinds of wings. Ideally, I would have liked to use the butterflies from Dollar Tree. Unfortunately, both stores that I went to did not have them, so I'm going to be using this. And if you're interested in getting these, I will have them in the description box below. But they are like this acetate paper, and it comes with dragonfly wings and butterfly wings, all different sizes and colors. So I'm going to pick some wings out here that I like to go on the back. Okay, so I've gotten them, and I actually have decided that I'm going to do both of them because I like them both. So what I'm going to do is cut the set in half, and then I'm going to glue it in the back like this. I'm going to take some glue right along the edge here. And I'm going to just stick it in the crease like that. Actually, I'm going to switch them. So let me pull this. Okay, you're not coming out? Wow. That went in there really good. Because I want this, the black side of it, so that when you see it forward, then the black shows in the front like that. So let's try that again. I'm going to put the glue on the edge. And I'm going to stick it in like that. other side. Okay, so this is what it's looking like so far. Then I'm going to take these, and I'm still going to put them, I'm going to put them the right way out this time. Sorry, this glue is a little thick right here. Smooth that down. But I'm going to put them at a slight more of an angle. I'm going to put the glue on the edge. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Okay, so that's what this is looking like. From the side. And then from the front. I think that's really cute for it being a skeleton. So I'm going to go ahead and set this right off to the side here. And now I want to deal with these crystals. And I think what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to put some, oops, I'm going to put some hot glue down on my surface. I'm going to stand these up in it. Ooh. Just so it's a little crystal cluster. Now, obviously not everyone's going to have these crystals, unless if you have the crystal mold that I have to do resin to make your own. But another idea is flowers, and I did think about doing flowers, but I didn't have any on hand that were small enough, so I decided to go with these. I saw them, and I thought, okay, let me just go ahead and use those. So I'm just filling in with a little hot glue. And once that has completely cooled down, I'm just going to paint the base of it with this gold again. Then I will be back. Next, I have here some copper wire LED lights from Dollar Tree. These are actually quite a few years old. I don't even know if they sell these anymore, but they have 12 lights on them. I already put some batteries in there. And so what I want to do is go ahead and put these up inside of the lantern. Now, I need to attach, or I want to attach the box up in the top. And I was going to use this foam mounting tape that's double-sided, but I saw that it's permanent, and I don't want it to be permanent. So I'm not going to use that. Instead, I'm going to use some of this double-sided sticky tape. It's kind of like a gel almost, but it's supposed to be super sticky, and hopefully it'll be able to hold up this battery box. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of this off. And let's see, I think I'm going to stick it on this side. Probably maybe I should do another piece. So I'm going to cut off another little piece here. Put that back with its paper. Okay. Let me get the backing off. Now I want to go ahead and stick this up inside. I want to put it in this area up in here so that I will be able to reach it to turn it on and off. I'm going to unwind them and then just kind of roll them back up. I don't think that I need to actually like secure it with any glue or anything since it is on a wire. I'm just going to loop it into kind of a circle here. And stick it. Just kind of wedge it up in there. Okay. I'm going to set this upright for a moment just to see what gravity is going to do. Okay. I think that's going to be... okay, not. It just fell down. So, I'm just going to take a little piece of masking tape. I really don't want this in here permanently. All right, I think that's gonna suffice. Okay. So now, excuse me, sorry. What I want to do is make sure that this tree is going to fit up in here also, because I did not think about how tall it is. And so, yeah, I'm going to need to slide this up a little bit. I'm going to need to kind of bend this a little bit. So I'm going to bend it over. Luckily it's made with wire. And then I'm just going to kind of shape these branches in all kinds of different ways. One more try. Okay. I think that's going to be good. Oops. You can see just like that. So now, what I want to do is I'm going to set this upright again. And I want to first see about where the tree is going to be placed and make sure that I get a hole inside of here so that when I have to install it, it'll be easy for me to install. Okay. All right. Just make sure I'll be able to find that hole again. So I am just going to stick that there as a placeholder for now. I am going to have to take it back off to be able to get it all in there, but that's what it looks like so far. So now I'm going to, oops, sorry friend. Now I'm going to cut down these mushrooms and start placing them. I want to put some over here by this tree. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the edge of it. I'm going to go ahead and stick that in. Oops, you can't even see that. Okay, let me move the tree so you can see what I'm doing here. Yeah. Cut off the wire. Place a little bit of glue. And I'm going to stick this one right here. So that's what that's looking like so far. Should find a couple of stones. Okay, Now our little fairy. I want to go right here. And just make completely sure that this is still working. I'm just going to leave that right there momentarily. Sorry, I'm blocking the view. I also want to make sure I glue this in the right spot. So I'm going to put some glue on the foot and the knee, the hand, and the foot. Okay, so to show you that's what's going on with it right there. And then I want to have these kind of nestled right in here. Okay. I'll put some glue. I'm going to set that down right on top. Okay. So that's what that's looking like so far. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and place it inside just to make sure that everything's going to be fitting okay. And it is. I'm going to see if I can hold it in there. You can see it right there. It's good like that. So I am going to use some more of this tape, and that way if I ever want to use the lantern for something else, then I can break it down and use it for something else. So I'm going to cut some more of this tape and struggle with it. Okay, now the moment of truth to get this tree in there. So I'm going to go up and in and swerve around, stick it down. And I'm not going to glue that down in there. I just feel like that would be sort of a mistake. So I'm going to bring the branches down, and then now I'm going to flip it so you can see what actually transpired. So I went ahead and placed the tree in the corner where I had it tested before, and then this piece of styrofoam is stuck in here pretty good with this double-sided tape. So let's see if I can get the light on. You can't really see the lights on camera, but I can see them here in person. So what I'm going to do now is take some final pictures and some video for you so you can see how this cute little lantern turned out. And that's a wrap for this season's Halloween decor ideas. I hope the skeleton fairy lantern inspires you to make one of your own. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell for more fun projects. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy haunting!